Welcome back to the channel, 40k enthusiasts. We're going to be going over the Genestealer Cult Codex today, since I actually have the Codex itself, which is pretty sweet. Hopefully this will be a little shorter than the others, because there's not a whole lot of units in these, but there's going to be a bunch of detachments and a bunch of enhancements and stratagems, so that's going to take the most time. But we're going to go through the whole thing in one fell swoop and just kind of get through it. So if you guys like that, thunderhammer the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit Nurgle's bell icon, check out our other videos as well, do all the stuff, press all the buttons, and we're also doing a giveaway. So, roll the part about the giveaway. What is up, guys and gals? Before we get into today's episode, I want to give you guys all the information that you need to enter the 500 subscriber giveaway. If you guys have already seen this spiel, feel free to skip ahead to the actual video. And thank you either way for your support. The giveaway is going to run from June 29th at 12 p.m. EST up until July 13th at midnight. So after July 13th, you cannot enter anymore. On July 14th at 12:01, I'm going to be selecting the winner. To enter the giveaway, all you guys have to do is leave a comment on a video between the time period. So between June 29th at 12 p.m. Eastern up until July 13th at midnight. If you comment on any video that was released between that period of time, you will automatically be entered to win. The last video to have been released within that window of time where the contest is running will have its description updated with the winner. That winner will then need to send us an email, which will also be in the description, and will tell us which item they would like. That person has a week to contact us. After a week, unfortunately, the time has expired and you can't receive your prize anymore. Once the winner does email me, I'm going to email them a code. They are going to update their comment that won them the prize with that code word so that I can see it, and because they are the only person who has access to that account. That is how I'm going to verify if the person is actually the winner. At the point at which that is done and the comment has been updated, I'll mail the item out and that person will receive their prize. This giveaway is being solely sponsored by me. There has no affiliation with YouTube or any third parties. At any part of this process, the prizes, the distribution, any of it, I am paying for the entire thing, top to bottom, no one else involved. The data collected for the winner will not be used for any other means besides to contact them and to send them their prize. I'm not going to sell their data or anything like that. Here is a list of things that you can win. A Sagitaur, Sister of Battle Warsuits, a unit of Allarus Custodians, Tau Battlesuits, a Redemptor Dreadnought, a Corvus Blackstar, 8-bound, Rubric Marines, Wraith Guard, Sword Brethren, Killa Kans, Wraiths, Dreadknights, Achilles Ridge Runners, Incubi, Death Company, Accursed Cultists, Chaos Knight War Dogs, Imperial Knight Armigers, a Soul Grinder, a Rogal Dorn, Thunderwolves, and a Haruspex. They're on screen. Now let's get to the video. Let's just get right into the Codex with the Cult Ambush Army Rule for the Genestealer Cults. Let me roll my sleeves up here. All right, and there's some paint on my hands, sorry about that. Okay, so you have the Cult Ambush. We've gone over this before in our index review, but we're gonna go over it again now that we have a Codex in case things are different. If your army faction's Genestealers, each time a unit with this ability, if it's destroyed, you roll a d6, adding 1 to the result if it's the first or second battle round. On a 5+, add a new unit to your army identical to the destroyed unit in Cult Ambush. Add its starting strength with all of its wounds remaining. With any one-shot weapons they are equipped with considered not to have been shot. While a unit is in Cult Ambush, it is also considered to be in reserves. Then place 1 Cult Ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away, horizontally of course, from all enemy units. If this is not possible, no marker is placed. So, Cult Ambush there. Now, if an enemy model, excluding aircraft, ends any kind of move within 9 inches of a Cult Ambush marker you placed, it's removed from the battlefield. At the end of the reinforcement step of your opponent's next movement phase, for each of your Cult Ambush markers still in the battlefield, you can select 1 unit from your army that is in Cult Ambush and set that unit up using the Cult Ambush marker. To do so, set up that unit on the battlefield more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy units, with at least 1 model in that unit touching the Cult Ambush marker, and all other models placed wholly within 3 inches of that Cult Ambush marker. So many words, so complicated. It's not that complicated, but it's a lot. So, you put down a marker at the end of your opponent's movement phase, their next movement phase. So, they killed one of your units, that unit then died, you put down a marker, you take your turn, then at the end of your opponent's next turn, you can do this thing in Cult Ambush stuff. So characters that are attached to a unit with this ability they're not returned. And they also don't have the Cult Ambush faction rule anyway. So we're gonna go right to it, except we're gonna go and we're gonna start with the detachments first, actually, because everything else is behind this. The first one is the Host of Ascension. You have a perfect ambush. This is the same thing that you had from the index. Anytime your setup is reinforcements, so that's deep striking, cold ambush, strategic reserve. Anytime your setup as reinforcements until the end of the fight phase. Weapons equipped by models in the unit have sustained hits 1 and ignores cover. So your ranged weapons have sustained hits 1 and ignore cover, and your combat has sustained hits 1. So that's what your Host of Ascension gets. Prowling Agent is your first enhancement. Genestealer Cult model only. Once per turn, when an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move within 9 inches of the bearer, if they're not within engagement range, they can move up to D6 inches. Interesting enough. Let's check its points. All right, so Prowling Adjutant, I may have said Agent before, but Prowling Adjutant is 15 points, which is probably fine. Then you have a chink in their armor. This is 20 points. Genestealer Cult's model only. Each time the bearer is set up on the battlefield as reinforcements until the end of your next fight phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit have lethal hits. Probably not bad. It is 20 points though. You can take it on anyone, so you can give this to a whole bunch of different things. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be giving it out to like 20 different models. 2 points a model essentially for lethal hits. I think that's probably worth the points there, but just not super good, because it's all ranged weapons. So I'm not really sure there, but Time is Nigh is the next one. Genestealer only, once per battle. When the bearer's unit declares a charge, they can use this enhancement if it does add 2 to the charge roll. That's not bad. It is 20 points, but plus 2 to your charge, especially out of a deep strike or a cold ambush, that can be pretty game-changing. So that is a pretty good one to have for sure, and it can be taken on any Genestealer Cults model. So you could be having this on Abominants that are with Aberrants, so you can come in 7-inch charge with a reroll if you need it. Not bad when you have it, stuff like that. So Assassination Edict is your last one here, and this one is 15 points. Genestealer Cults model. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack that targets a character unit, add 1 to the hit roll. Kind of an interesting one there. I'm not so sure if it's really worth taking in general. Plus 1 hit against all character units. A lot of units have characters, so that's not terrible, but I just don't know if it's more useful than some of these other things, maybe like these two. So Prowling Agent, Our Time is Nigh, definitely the better ones there. Prowling Adjutant, I keep saying Agent. Then we go on to the strats. So we have Coordinated Trap. This is a Battle Tactics CP, or Stratagem, 2 CP. At the start of your shooting phase or the start of the fight phase, you pick 2 Genestealer Cult units from your army that have not been selected to shoot or fight. You select 1 enemy unit. If the stratagem is used in the fight phase, that enemy unit must be within engagement range of both of your units. And until the end of the phase, each time a model in either of your units makes an attack, it can only target that enemy unit and only if it's an eligible target for that attack. And when resolving that attack, you add 1 to the wound roll. So it's a really long-winded way of saying you can get plus 1 to wound with 2 units. So pretty interesting and nice to have. Then you have Primed and Readied. This is a battle tactic for 1 CP. It's in your shooting or fight phase. You target a Genestealer Cults unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight. Till the end of the phase, each time the model in your unit makes an attack, a critical hit is scored on an amount of 5 up instead of 6. 1 CP for that. Okay, so we'll have to find some stuff that has lethals or sustained. Not bad with something like this, because then you can combine these 2 things together. So lethal hits on 5 ups is pretty good in the shooting phase when you have a bunch of lasers, so not bad. Then you have Tunnel Crawlers. It's in your movement phase. A Genestealer Cult unit from your army arriving using Deep Strike. So you can't use this if you're arriving from Strategic Reserve. You have to be using Deep Strike. Your unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units, or more than 3 inches horizontally away if your unit has the battle line keyword. A unit targeted by this stratagem is not eligible to declare charge in the same turn. Kinda lame, but fine. It would be pretty good if you could get 4-inch rerollable charges on your abominant units or aberrant units. That seems pretty good. Or just 20-man squads with a bunch of stuff. Lying in wait, 1 CP strategic ploy. It's in your movement, or your opponent's movement phase. You target a Genestealer battle line from your army until the end of the phase. When setting up your unit in the Cult Ambush, set up your unit anywhere on the battlefield wholly within 6 inches of that Cult Ambush marker and not within engagement. So you put down a Cult Ambush marker first, and then you get to put this unit down immediately. So, kind of interesting. Return to the shadows. This is in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit shot. You target a Genestealer's Cult's infantry unit from your army that was the target of the attacks. Remove the unit from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserve. Interesting. So, just after an enemy unit has shot. Okay, so it's afterward. Okay, I thought it was before for a second. I was like, wait, you have a 1 CP, like, sigil of excellence? That's pretty good. But no, it is after the attacking unit makes its attacks. And then you have a Deadly Snare as the last one. This is in your opponent's charge phase for 1 CP. The charge phase, in your opponent's turn, just after an enemy unit declares a charge, you target a Genestealer Cult infantry unit from your army that was the target. On a 2 to 4, the enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds, and on a 5 up, that they suffer 3 instead. So overall, pretty fine. Gaining sustained hits 1 and ignores cover on everything is pretty good. You don't really need ignores cover because you're just going to take Ridge Runners and they give you ignores cover, I'm pretty sure. So you don't really need that. The sustained hits is nice to have though. Otherwise, the deep striking within 3, very strong. +1 a wound isn't bad. It's strange that it's 2 CP and targets 2 different units because it's just, I don't know. It's just an odd little thing. Do you really need 2 units to be +1 to wound against 1 target to just absolutely make sure it's gone? I suppose, but normally just 1 unit, like 20-man unit, it's probably good enough. But otherwise, you know, Return to the Shadows pretty good. The Lying in Wait, not bad. And then Deadly Snare is just kind of your forgetful one. But getting the +2 to charge, very good. Lethal hits is fine on your ranged weapons. It's pretty cool if you can combine these two, lethal and sustained. Never a bad thing to have both of those things. And then obviously reactive moves are always great. So, next one. This is the Xenocreed Congregation. And our first one here, I don't know if I actually said, is Host of Ascension. So, Xenocreed, whatever the hell this is, you have Unquestioning Fanaticism as your detachment rule. For each Accolade Hybrid, Hybrid Metamorph, Neophyte Hybrid unit from your army, while 1 or more character models are leading that unit, you can reroll advance and charge rolls made for it. If that character model is a Magus Primus or Acolyte Icon Word, they have a 3-up Feel No Pain while leading the unit. Reroll advance and charge rolls only for units that contain characters and only for these types of things. Okay, so we're off to a bad start for sure. Genesire's Reliquant. Yes, the Genesiere Reliquant is the first thing for 5 points here. Magus Primus, Acolyte Icon Word only. You can reroll Battle Shock test taken for the bear's unit. It's 5 points. Sure, I'll take it. I won't actually take it, but I appreciate that it's not expensive. The Denunciator of Tyrants is not a bad one here. It's 25 points. Magus Primus, Acolyte Icon Word only. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack that targets a character unit, add 1 to the hit roll and add 1 to the wound roll. So if you can go after something really important that has a character attached to it, they will actually do a bunch of damage to it. +1 hit, +1 wound is always really good to have. Then you have Deeds that Speak to the Masses. This is 25 points. Same things can take it. Once per turn, when rolling for a battle line unit from Cult Ambush Army Rule, if the bearer is on the battlefield, you can reroll the result. Absolute take this. It's an auto take in this one, for sure. And then you have Incendiary Inspiration, Magus Primus, Acolyte Icon Word only. The bearer's unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. Awesome. This is nice to have for sure. So you can only take it on specific guys. You can't take it on aberrants, for example. But these two are very good. Your battle line's great. It's coming back on a 4-up from turns 2 and 3. And you can just kind of go full send there and just try to get as many back as possible. And you get a reroll on that, which is pretty awesome. I like that. The Incendiary thing, it's 15 points if I didn't mention that. That's what you get for this. So, reroll advance and charge rolls. It'll be able to advance and charge with this, so rerollable on both of those is definitely nice to have. You can have some very fast units that just kind of fly across the table there. So that's pretty interesting. But you also do want to deep strike stuff, so, because your army's kind of built that way. Let's see what we got for our strats here. So, Vengeance of the Martyr. With an exclamation point at the end there. This happens in your opponent's shooting or fight phase just after an enemy unit destroys a Genestealer character from your army. You target a different character from your army until the end of the battle. Each time a friendly Acolyte Hybrid, Metamorph, Neophyte Hybrid model, so Hybrid Metamorph, Acolyte Hybrid, Neophyte Metamorph. Make an attack that targets the enemy unit, you can reroll a hit roll of 1. If the destroyed model was a Magus Primus or Acolyte Icon Ward, you can reroll a hit roll instead for the rest of the game. So permanent reroll hits. Frenzied Devotion is 1 CP. Battle Tactic, not that these types don't really matter anymore. The type of stratagem that it is. So this happens in the fight phase. You target an Acolyte Hybrid. You target those same 3 units from your army that have not been selected to fight until the end of the phase. Improve the attacks and weapon skill characteristic of melee weapons by 1, excluding your characters. And they have hazardous, so that's very strange. So you're going, I guess, to weapon skill 2 on a lot of things, weapon skill 3 and 2 on most things with an extra attack, but you gain hazardous. Weird. Cool though, cool but weird. Tireless Fervor, 1 CP, charge phase, same 3 units, so Acolyte Hybrid, Hybrid Metamorphs, Neophyte Hybrids that have not been declared, that just haven't declared a charge this phase. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. And then when doing so, if it targets one enemy unit within engagement range of 1 or more friendly character units, you can reroll the charge roll. So if you're already in combat with my character, I can reroll the charge roll. I am very bored with this detachment already. Transcendent Celerity? Transcendent Celerity, that's what I'm going with here. It's in your shooting phase, it's 1 CP. Target those 3 units that have not been selected to shoot this phase. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons have Assault. Okay, being able to advance and do stuff is pretty nice, but not nearly as useful as it used to be because you can't advance and shoot anymore. So that sucks. The Downtrodden Rise, 2 CP. It's at the end of the reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase if you have no cult ambush markers on the battlefield. You target one of these 3 units again in cold ambush. This phase, you can set up your unit on the battlefield without using a cold ambush marker, and when doing so, you can set it up anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches away, and not within your opponent's deployment zone, and wholly within 9 inches of one or more battlefield edges. Okay. The Path of Anguish, 1 CP. This is in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has shot. You target those 3 units. No, it's only 2 units. You target an Acolyte Hybrid or Neophyte Hybrid unit from your army that had 1 or more of its models destroyed as a result. It can make a D6 move, but must end close as possible. So so it moves closer to the enemy unit, and when doing so, you can be moved within engagement range. Okay. So, this one's good. The Path of Anguish is pretty good. This permanent rerolls to hit against something's not bad, but otherwise, who wrote this one, you know? I don't know. Being able to advance and charge is very nice. That I will say. And then rerolling. But it's just a weird detachment because it forces any units that you have want to be led by a character. And then it only needs to be these units that are it's very one-dimensional with these 3 units that you're taking. It's cool. You can reroll your thing to get back, but otherwise, I don't care and I want to move on. And so do you, because that's bad. So BioSantic Surge. You add 1 to charge rolls made for Aberrant, Biophagus, and Pure Strain Genestealer units. In addition, each time a unit is selected to fight, if it made a charge move until the end of the turn, add 1 to its attacks characteristic of melee weapons. Pretty cool. So +1 to the attacks characteristic of the melee weapons when they charge. So they basically have old school, Furious Charge. Yeah, and then +1 to your charge rolls, always nice. You come out of Strategic Reserve, now you're on an 8, your chances of charging are now a 50%. I think, instead of not that. So, pretty cool. Yeah. Then we have our enhancements here. So, Predatory Instincts. This is going to be 20 points. It's Abominant, Biophagus, or Patriarch only. Models in the Bearer's unit have Infiltrators, and once per battle round, you can target the Bearer's unit with the Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP, and you can do so even if different unit was targeted this phase. So that's very, very good. Just the fact that it gives you Infiltrate, because now you have a bunch of stupid shit infiltrating up there. A bunch of I'm just going to call them all abominants. Aberrants. You're just infiltrating 10 aberrants up there and just fucking someone turn 1. Pretty stupid. I like it a lot. 20 points. Then you have Biomorph Adaptation, and that is 25 points with an Abominant or Patriarch dude only. You improve the armor penetration and the damage characteristic of melee weapons by 1 for the bearer. The Patriarch getting this is probably going to be great. The Abominant, also great, but this becomes Strength 6 AP3, flat 4 damage, so with Twin Linked and Dev Wounds. So that becomes pretty cool. The Abominant, though, he becomes Strength 12. He's already Strength 12, but he's then AP 3 with damage D6 plus 2 with 5 attacks on the charge. So, not so shabby, I would say. Then you have the Mutagenic Regeneration. That's 10 points. Same guys of kind of Abominant, Biophagus, or Patriarch only. In your command phase, one model in the bear's unit regains 1 lost wound. That's not worth it ever. If it was like return a model to the unit, then that would be something interesting, but it's not. So, the last one we got is the Alien Majesty. This is 15 points, Abominant, Biophagus, or Patriarch. While an enemy unit is within engagement range of the bear, subtract 1 from the OC of models in that unit. That's very good, especially for its point cost, for only being 15 points. Very nice to have, for sure. I like this one. So Alien Mastery, gonna be the good one there, along with probably these two are the best. The Alien Mastery and the Predatory Instincts. And I just like the fact that you add 1 to your charge rolls, you get +1 to your attacks characteristic. I think that just is a nice thing to have, especially combined together like that. That's a nice detachment rule for sure. Then you have your stratagems. First one here is Evasive Vanguard 1 CP. It's in any phase just after an enemy unit ends a move within 9 inches of your cold ambush markers, but before removing it from the battlefield to your cold ambush. 1 Pure Strain Genestealer unit from your army in cold ambush as your target. You select one of those cold ambush markers. You can move that cold ambush marker up to 6 inches. If that marker is still within 9 of 1 or more enemy units, it is removed from the battlefield. Otherwise, until the end of the battle, you can only select Pure Strain Genestealer units from your army to be set up using that cold ambush marker. Interesting. So it allows you to put dudes in places, basically. Lets you move your token, which is nice, because people will drive right up to your token, get within 9 inches of it. So like if I'm over here, I don't know if you can see my fingers, but I'm over here and you're over here, I move up like 9 inches and you're 9 inches away. And then you can just move this thing 6 inches back and just be completely not even close. Okay, Saintly Paroxysm, 1 CP. This is in your fight phase just after an enemy unit destroys a Genestealer cult character model from your army. You target that destroyed character model, and you can use this stratagem even though it was just destroyed on a 2-up. The enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If the character was an Abominant or a Patriarch, you suffer 2d3 mortal wounds instead. That's not bad. Just 2d3 mortal wounds on death. It's like an auto-explode, but for a minimum 2 mortal wounds on the thing. So, not bad. Then you have Gene Twisted Muscle. Got 1 CP fight phase strat here for one Aberrant Biophagus or Pure Strain Genestealer unit from your army that has not been selected to fight until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets a monster or a vehicle, you add 1 to the wound roll. Very nice, because the Aberrants got a little worse. We'll get to them in a second, but they actually got much worse. But they also got cheaper, I'm pretty sure, by like a good amount. Hypermetabolic Vigor. Hypermetabolic Vigor. It's like a song. Hypermetabolic Vigor. 1 CP. Fight phase. 1 Aberrant Biophagus Pure Strain Genestealer unit from your army that has not been selected to fight until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes a pile-in or consolidation move, it can move up to 6 instead of 3. In addition, it does not need to end that move closer to the closest enemy model, providing it ends as close as possible to the closest enemy unit. Gets you closer to stuff. That's a 12-inch move there. So pretty sweet. Stimulated BioSurge. 1 CP charge phase, you target an Aberrant Biophagus or Pure Strain Genestealer unit from your army that has not been declared to charge this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time your unit declares a charge, if the closest eligible enemy unit is selected as one of the targets of the charge, you add 1 to the charge roll for each selected target of that charge, including the closest eligible enemy unit, to a maximum of +3. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so Deep Strike, multi-charge, it's a 6, rerollable. Fucking damn, fuck. Alright, so Biohorror Revelation, 1 CP, it's your start of your opponent's shooting phase. You target 1 Aberrant Biophagus or Pure Strain Genestealer unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy unit within 9 inches of your unit is selected to shoot, it must take a leadership test, subtracting 1 from the result if it's failed until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack that targets your unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Great. So Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy unit within 9 inches of your unit is selected to shoot. Alright, BioSantic Brood Surge. I like this. I do like +1 to charge rolls. I do like +1 to your attacks. I think that those are good things. I actually like being able to pile in extra farts. It ties stuff up a lot of the times, and it fucks people over. It's not useful all the time, though. This is pretty cool. It's not amazing or anything. This is actually very nice. The fact that you can move, yeah, you get to move a cold ambush marker, right? No. Which one moves your cold ambush marker? Yeah, this one moves your cold ambush marker. You can only put pure strains in there, so that's a weird restriction of it, though. +1 to wound is nice. Yeah. So you're going to get +1 to your attacks. You're going to be able to get +1 to charge, and you're going to be +1 to wound against vehicles. Hopefully, you can infiltrate up and do some cool stuff. Hit hard with a character with this. I'm not sure it's really there. We'll see what the pure strains and the aberrants and the biophagus looks like. He's not going to be very good, but at least not in combat. All right, Outlander Claw, let's go. Rapid takeover. Double the objective control characteristic of Genestealer Cult mounted and Genestealer Cult vehicle models from your army. In addition, at the end of your command phase, if one or more Alads and Jackal units from your army are within range of an objective marker that you control, the objective marker remains under your control, even if you have no models within range of it, until your opponent controls it at the start of any turn. Okay, so we have enhancements here. What is this called? The Outlander Claw. So the Serpentine Tactics is 15 points. Mounted dude only. The Bear's unit is eligible to shoot in the turn in which it fell back. Okay, sure. Because you've got great shooting units that want to fall back that are mounted. So this basically goes on one model, and you can shoot when you fall back with like your bolters and your flamethrower, something like that. Cartographic Data Leech, what a name on that one. The Cartographic Data Leech is a Genestealer Cult's model only thing. While the bearer is embarked within a transport, each time that transport is selected to shoot until the end of the phase, improve the ballistic skill characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by that transport by 1, if it's using the fire index specifically. Interesting. Starfall Shells. These are going to be 10 points, and it's for your Genestealer Cult mounted guys only. It's in your shooting phase. After the bearer has shot, select one enemy unit, hit by one or more of those attacks with a Colt Sniper Rifle. Until the end of your next shooting phase, each time a model in the enemy unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. I really hope that they can move, shoot, move, or do something cool, because otherwise this thing is just fucking dead afterward. Then you have Assault Commando. The Assault Commando is 15. This is anybody, actually. It's not just mounted guys. These two are just anybody. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes a ranged attack, if it disembarks from a transport, you can re-roll the hit roll. So that's pretty interesting. A couple of re-rollable hit roll for las cannon shots. Not bad, I guess. Next, we have the enhancements, a long shadowed trails. So this is 1 CP, strategic ploy. It's in any phase just after an enemy unit ends a move within 9 inches of one or more cult ambush markers. You target an Alads and Jackal unit from your army in Cold Ambush. Select one of those Cult Ambush markers. You can set that Cult Ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from all enemy units and wholly within 6 inches of one or more battlefield edges until the end of the battle. You can only select Alads and Jackal units to be set up using it. So it's kind of the opposite of, or not the opposite, but similar to this one, Evasive Vanguard. So that's fine, I guess. Devoted Crew. 1 CP battle tactic. It's in your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its target. You target a rock grinder or a rock truck from your army that was selected as the target of the attacks. Subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. Not bad. Not bad. Close range shootout. 1 CP shooting phase, and your shooting phase. You target a Genestealer Cult mounted or vehicle unit from your army until the end of the phase. Ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have lethal hits while they're targeting an enemy unit within 18 inches. Okay. Meh. Rapid Feint. So 1 CP, it's in your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move. You target a Ridge Runner or Alads Jackal unit from your army that's within 9 inches of the enemy unit. It can make a normal move up to 6 inches. That's pretty good. Reactive move, for sure good. So you can put your stuff up in there. Somebody tries to move closer to you, you can just then move away or get behind a wall or get closer to them, steal the objective, whatever it is. So that I'd like. Deft Maneuvering, this is 1 CP as well. Everything's been 1 CP so far. This is in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit selects its targets. You target a Ridge Runner or Jackal's unit from your army that was selected as the target of the attacks. 4 pinball. I like 4 pinballs for 1 CP, so that I think is actually pretty good for sure. Is it really going to keep something like your Allerton Jackals alive that have the stat line of a scout? No, but you can pay a CP to try. So it's probably better on your vehicles like your Achilles Ridge Runner. But unless I'm missing something, the Allerton Jackals they're not durable. Like, they're literally scout profile guys. They have 2 wounds, toughness 4, and a 4-up armor save, maybe. So, Encircle the Prey is your last one here. It's 1 CP, it's at the end of your opponent's fight phase. You target a Genestealer's Cult mounted or vehicle unit from your army not within engagement range of enemy units, and wholly within 9 inches of one or more battlefield edges, so wholly within 9. Remove it from the battlefield, put it into Strat Reserve. I kind of like doubling my OC on my vehicles. Just because it's actually pretty good. It makes your vehicles very, very cheap to take and just sit on objectives with. But that's not usually a winning strategy because they don't do a whole lot of damage, I would think. I don't play Genestealer cults. I played against them a bunch, but I just don't think... I don't know. What do you guys think of this detachment? Because I don't think it's super duper cool. This is interesting, but not cool enough for me to take. This is fine. Being able to reroll hits is not bad. This, I'm just like, why do you want this? And then this, really? You're eligible to shoot in a turn, but you fell back. You're not like, they're not bad. They're just not great. So, I don't know. I want to move on to the next one. Brood Brother Auxilia. Oh God, do I want to move on to the next one? Fuck. So, Integrated Tactics. Alright, each time an Astra Militarum unit from your army see below is selected to shoot, you can select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to that unit. If you do until the end of the phase, models in the Astra Militarum unit can only target that enemy unit, and only if it's eligible. And that enemy unit is caught in overlapping fire. While it's caught in overlapping fire, each time a Genestealer's Cults model from your army targets that enemy unit with a ranged attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Right. Okay, so you can include Astra Militarum units from your army even though they do not have the Genestealer Cult faction keyword. The combined points cost of such units you can include in your army is up to 1,000 points in the thing we care about. No Astra Militarum model from your army can be your warlord, and they lose the Voice of Command ability if they have it. You cannot include units from your army that have the following keywords: Aircraft, Commissar, Epic Hero, Militarum Tempestus, Ogren, Rattling, Tech Priest, Engine Seer, Ministorum Priest. So, what does this detachment fucking do? I don't know. Neither do you. That rhymed. Cool. Martial Espionage is the first thing here. Watch this just be like a crazy thing. So this is 25 points for this. It's a Genestealer Cult infantry model only, so you can't take it on Astra Militarum. Once per turn, when a friendly Astra Militarum infantry or mounted unit within 9 inches of the bearer is selected to shoot, the bearer unit can use this enhancement once per turn. Right, okay. If it does, until the end of the phase, improve the armor penetration characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit by 1. So it's only Astra Militarum infantry units, and you can't take the cool ones. You can't take Ogren. Yeah, okay, cool. Adaptive Reprisal. 15 points. Genestealer Cult infantry only, once per turn. You can target a friendly Genestealer Cult unit with a 9 with the Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP. Okay. Okay. The hero return, 20 points for this one. It's improved the leadership and OC control of models in the bear's unit by 1. Not bad. You know, they become OC like 5 at that point. They could become like 4, I think. Because you could have dudes, they're 2 OC. The dude guy with the banner makes them 3 OC. And then you could have this to make them 4 OC. So you could have 4 OC infantry guys. You could have like 3 dudes walk in there and be like, 12 OC, fuck you. So that's pretty cool. And then you have the Firepoint Commander, which says that Genestealer Cult infantry model only can take this, and then each time you target the bearer's unit with the Fire Overwatch stratagem. While resolving that stratagem, a hit is scored on an unmodified hit roll of 5 up. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? 10 points for this too. Oh, it gives me brain damage. All right, so this is what they get for their strat. In the Shadow of Iron, it's in any phase just after an enemy unit ends a move within 9 inches of one or more of your Cult Ambush markers. You target an Astra Militarum vehicle from your army. Select one of those Cult Ambush markers. You can set that Cult Ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy units and wholly within 6 inches of your unit. Huh. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So you just get to move it behind your tanks, basically, or near your tanks, instead of losing it. That's pretty cool. Regimental Reinforcements. 1 CP, it's in your opponent's shooting or fight phase just after an Astra Militarum infantry regiment unit from your army, excluding artillery, is destroyed. That infantry unit is the target, and you can use it even though it was just destroyed. Roll a d6 on a 3-up. Your unit is placed into Cult Ambush, and you can place 1 Cult Ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches. Yeah, okay. So you get to use Cult Ambush on a guard unit, and it's a 1 CP, bring guys back sort of thing. So I think that's a loophole to the reinforcements restriction that we see in the balanced data slate now. So that's cool. Suppress and Overwhelm. 1 CP, your shooting phase just after an Astra Militarum unit from your army is shot, you target that unit. Select 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks until the end of the turn. That enemy unit cannot be targeted by the Fire Overwatch stratagem, and each time a Genestealer cult unit from your army selects that enemy unit as the target of the charge, you can re-roll the charge. That's pretty good. Being able to just be like, you can't Overwatch me now, is pretty nice. Unless they already did it in the movement phase, in which case, then it sucks. Acceptable losses, 2 CP. Does this just bring guys back? So it's in your shooting phase. You target an Astra Militarum unit. You select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of 1 or more Genestealer cult units from your army until the end of the phase. Your unit can make ranged attacks that target that enemy unit. If it does, after resolving those attacks, roll a d6. For each of those Genestealer cult units and on a 5+, the unit being rolled for suffers d3 plus 1 mortal wounds. So they can just shoot into combat. That's pretty cool. Alright, then you have Symbolic Destruction. 1 CP, shooting phase of yours. 1 Astra Militarum and 1 Genestealer cult unit from your army that have not been selected to shoot. Select 1 enemy unit that is visible to both of the selected units and within range of at least 1 ranged weapon from each of those units until the end of the phase. Models in those units can only make attacks that target that enemy unit, and only if it's eligible. And while doing so, when you make an attack, you can re-roll a wound roll of 1. Get the fuck out of here, bro. A Dark Network. 1 CP, reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit is set up on the battlefield. From reserve, you target an Astra Militarum or Genestealer cult unit from your army. Within 12 inches of the enemy unit, it can make a normal move up to 6. Cool. So you can just kind of get closer to somebody on their turn, right? Okay then. So that's a thing you can do, and that is what you get for your Brood Brother Auxiliary. I don't care. So let's go on to the data sheets, because that's what you guys are also here for. Whoa, look at that. All right, data sheets, right? I didn't skip any? Okay. So we're gonna move through it as quick as we can. I'm not gonna say pretty fast. We're gonna do it as quick as we can because I want to do that. So the Patriarchs, the first thing that we got here, looks to be pretty much the same, 4-up invuln with 6 wounds, T5 and 8-inch move, OC1. He's got those rending claws, 5 attacks on 2s, strength 6 AP2, 2 damage, with dev wounds and twin linked, yep. Attaches to pure strains. You cannot include more than 1 Patriarch in your army. Interesting. If this model is in your army, it must be your warlord. Okay. He's a Psyker. His Might from Beyond. While he's leading a unit, melee weapons equipped by models in that unit have devastating wounds. Very good. At the start of the fight phase, take a battle shock test. Okay. And then he has this Familiar. Once per battle at the start of the fight phase, this model can use its Psychic Familiar. If it does until the end of the phase, add 6 inches to the range of its Cosmic Horror. So it would be within 12 that you would make it do that. So that's pretty cool. You then have your Pure Strains, which are basically the same, I think. 2 wounds, yeah. 5-up invuln. 8-inch move. They have Deep Strike. This guy also has Deep Strike and Infiltrators. These guys also have Deep Strike and Infiltrators. They're 75 points or 150. They're eligible to charge in a turn in which they advanced, so not terrible there. Not terrible at all. And then we have our Primus here. The Primus is like 90 points. He's got a 5-up and a 5-up with 4 wounds at T3. Like, I don't know how you do that, but for combat, he's fine. He's got 5 attacks, strength 5, AP2, 1 damage, so it's basically just a power sword. Deep Strike. Now, these don't have Cult Ambush. This does, because these are a unit. The characters don't have Cult Ambush. This guy, though, he looks to be pretty much the same. While he's leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. Not sure if he gave that to you before, but that is super duper good. He can attach to Acolyte Hybrids, Acolyte Hybrids, Hybrid Metamorphs, Neophyte Hybrids. Decoys and misdirection. If your army includes one or more models with this ability, after both players have deployed their army, select up to 3 Genestealer cult units from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set them up in strategic reserve, regardless of how many units are already there. All right. Not so shabby on that. The Magus here is also 50 points, not great if I remember correctly, but let's see. So 5 up, 5 up, 4 wounds. Combat, just 3 attacks with D3 damage. Not terribly bad, but you know, whatever. She's not there to be smacking people super hard. Acolyte hybrids, metamorphs, and neophyte hybrids is what she can attach to. She does have deep strike and leader. No grenades there. No grenades there. Nothing super interesting on the keyword front here. Spiritual leader. Once per battle at the start of any phase, you can select a friendly Genestealer cult unit with that is battle shocked and within 12 inches of this model at the start of any phase. Okay, it's no longer battle shocked, so you could effectively get that insane bravery twice with that, I'm pretty sure. Mind control. At the start of your opponent's shooting phase, 1 Psyker model from your army with this ability can use it. If used, select 1 enemy unit within 18 of that Psyker and roll a d6. On a 1, the Psyker model suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 2 to 5 until the end of the phase, each time a model in that enemy unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. If a 6 is rolled, subtract 1 from the hit and the wound roll. And then your Psychic Familiar. Once per battle, at the start of the opponent's shooting phase, this model can use its Psychic Familiar. If it does until the end of the phase, adds 6 inches to the range of its mind control ability. So that's pretty cool, I suppose. So she basically just makes things harder to hit you. She also unbattle shocks things. So cool enough. Benefictus. This guy's like 80 points, if I remember. Yep, 80 points. Moves 6 inches with T3, 5 up, 5 up, on only 3 wounds. So, not sure what he's doing here. He's got a Psionic Cascade, which is a ranged weapon. Strength 12, AP 3, and D6 plus 1 damage at 18 inches. Or you can make it hazardous and potentially kill his ass with 2 shots at Strength 12, AP 3, and D6 plus 1 damage. Attaches to the same kind of stuff. Acolyte hybrids, hybrid metamorphs, neophyte hybrids. Does not have grenades. He deep strikes though, he's a leader. He has Biohorror Disruption, which is while this model is leading a unit, ranged weapons equipped by models in that unit have lethal hits. There was an enhancement that gave that as well that I remember. Psionic Shield. Once per battle at the start of any phase, this model can use this ability. If it does, until the end of the phase, this model has a 4-up invuln. Give me a fucking break with 3 wounds and toughness 3. What? Fuck that. Alright, Sanctus Boy. No grenades. Damn. He's got a 5 up with 3 wounds as well. And the Sanctus can't be a lot of points, right? He's only 50, which isn't a lot. He is a lone op, which is nice. Stealth, Infiltrator, Deep Strike, all good things there. Just great. Cold Sniper Rifle, Anti-Psyker 2-up, Heavy and Precision. Strength 7, AP 2, and a flat 3 damage on that. No ignores cover, just Heavy and Precision. So he could be hitting on 2s, sniping out your characters. If he wants to go combat Dagger Boy, he's going to have 6 attacks, Strength 3, AP 2, and 2 damage, but he's got Anti-Infantry 3-up and also Precision there. So, not bad. I mean, that's going to be 5 hits. That's going to be called 4 wounds on some kind of character. Won't quite kill it most likely unless it's only got a 3-up save and no invuln or something cool like that, but he's cool. He's a cool little guy. Then you have the Nexos, and I think the Nexos is also 50 points. He's 60 points, actually, excuse me. So, no invuln, but 3 wounds with a 5-up save. Toughness 3 like everyone else. Combat, nothing to worry about there. He can be attached to the same units. You can attach this model to an Acolyte hybrid, Neophyte hybrid, even a Primus Magus or Acolyte. Icubi is already attached. Okay. He has Deep Strike, he has Leader. Once per battle round, when you target the bearer's unit with a stratagem, reduce the cost of that stratagem by 1. Awesome. Changed, I think. I think that was for free before, but awesome still. No grenades. Cold Infiltration at the start of each player's command phase. If this model is on the battlefield, you can select one of your Cold Ambush markers that is on the battlefield and has not been moved this turn and move it 6 inches. That's really good. So this is still an auto take, 60-point auto take, Bio Nexos man. Clamavis. The Clam man is 50 points. He doesn't look super special here. T3 with 5-up save and 3 wounds. Combat and shooting sucks. He can attach to the same units. He can attach to the units even if there's a Primus, Magus, or Acolyte icon already attached. He deep strikes, he leads. He's got that voice of truths of the new ones, though. Not the old truths. He's got the new truths for you fuckers. So, in your command phase, One model from your army with this ability can use it. If it does, select one enemy unit with an 18. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. Man, fuck that. Scrambler array. Enemy units that are set up on the battlefield cannot be set up within 12 inches of this guy. Unfuck that. That's a good thing, that's a bad thing. You get a C-. So those are going to be your characters there. There's still some more, but that's some of them. Locus. The Locus is 45 points, so let's see how bad this guy is. He's got a 4 pinball, 3 wounds. His toughness 4, which is strange. He's got Locust Blades, which are 5 attacks, strength 5, AP 2, 2 damage. This model can be attached to the following units. Acolyte Hybrids, Hybrid Metamorphs, Neophyte Hybrids can be attached. Even, you know, you can attach, even if there's a Primus Magus or Acolyte icon word attached. He's got Deep Strike, he's got Fight First. Then he has, while this model is leading a unit, models in that unit have the Fights First ability. You don't need to put that on there because Fights First gives it to the unit because it says units with this ability. So yeah, Bodyguard. While this model is leading a unit, other character models in that unit have a 4-up Feel No Pain. I don't hate that. The only reason I don't hate this in this scenario is because these characters don't have a lot of wounds, they're not very tough, and they don't have very good saves. So the fact that you can get things like this, or just generally like Genestealers tend to have abilities here or there to be able to like put wounds on other guys, like old school Lookout Sir type stuff. So I like it because when you do get precisioned out, especially in combat, which is where it's the most common, because in shooting you just make it so your character's not targetable, if you can. Having a 4-up Feel No Pain doubles their amount of wounds, and that's good. Reductus Saboteur. This guy I think is 65 points. Yep. He's also 3 wounds with a 5-up invuln and a 5-up save, all that T3. He's got Deep Strike, Infiltrator, Lone Op, and Stealth. He's still ridiculous, I hope. Demolition Charge, Assault Blast, 1-shot, 6-inch range, Strength 9, AP 2, 2 damage. Makes way more sense if it's Strength 9. Remote Explosives are the same. They're the indirect blast thing. D6 plus 3 shots, Strength 5, AP 0, Damage 1, 24-inch range. Primed and ready, in your shooting phase, you can select one model from your army with this ability as the target of the grenade strat for 0 CP, provided that model has not already been targeted with this strat this phase. Cool. Planted explosives once per battle. When an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move within 9 inches of this model can use its Reductus Mine. If it does, roll a d6 on a 2-up, you suffer d3 plus 3 mortal wounds. Only one model from your army with this ability can use it in the same battle round. These things are hilarious, dude. Like, oh my god, he throws grenades at you, he shoots a demo charge at you, and then he shoots remote explosives at you. Just hilarious. Then we have the Biophagus. The Biophagus is 50 points, and he's just 3 wounds, T3, 5-up save. He looks really cool, though. He's got a little stabby moon guy here, a Grabba, and he isn't worth talking about either in combat or anything, right? Nope. Okay. So once per battle, when the bear's unit is selected to fight, the bear can use its familiar if it does until the end of the phase. Each time a model in the bear's unit makes an attack that targets an infantry unit, add 1 to the wound roll. Not bad. Plus 1 to wound against infantry, fine. Then he can lead stuff, and he can also lead stuff even if there's a Primus Magus or Acolyte icon word already attached. He has Twisted Sentence, Leader Deep Strike, Twisted Science, while he's leading a unit, melee weapons have lethal hits. And then Biological Warfare once per battle. When this model's unit is selected to fight, this model can use this ability if it does until the end of the phase. Improve the attacks and damage characteristic of its Injector Goad by 3. So its Injector Goad goes to 4 attacks, Strength Anti-Infantry 2-up, D3 damage with 0 AP. So, yeah. Why? What the fuck is happening here? What's going on? Keller Morph. T3, 3 wounds, 5-up, 5-up. Nothing to write home about there. Liberator Auto Stubs are Dev Wound pistols that are Strength 6, AP 2, 1 damage with 6 attacks. You better have like 5 of these fucking things. Did I miss any cool keywords here? Yes, the grenades on the Reductus Saboteur is basically the only thing that we missed here. Okay, moving back to this. This guy does not have grenades because he's not fucking cool. Doesn't he have like a grenade on him? He probably does. Heroic Fusillade. Once per turn, after one model from your army with this ability has shot, you can select an infantry unit from your army that was hit by these attacks. Take a battle shock test. No. Alright. Heroic Fusillade. Once per turn, after one model from your army with this ability has shot, you can select one infantry unit hit by one or more of these attacks until the end of the turn. Take a battle shock test or whatever the fuck. It just fucking fuck. Hypersensory abilities. Once per turn in your opponent's movement phase, when an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move within 12 inches of this model, if it's not within engagement range of one or more enemy units, it can shoot as if it were the shooting phase, and then make a normal move up to d6 inches. It cannot embark. Okay. So actually getting onto some infantry here. So your Icon man, Acolyte Icon Ward. So he's not your troops yet. I lied. He's got 3 wounds. He's toughness 4 with a 5-up save. He's Scout 6. He's Leader Deep Strike. Nexus of Devotion. While he's leading a unit, models in that unit have 5-up Feel No Pain. If that unit is a hybrid metamorphs, they have a 4-up Feel No Pain instead. Whoa. So he is 60 points. He can lead Acolyte hybrids, hybrid metamorphs, and Neophyte hybrids. Holy fucking shit word ball salad fuckers. He has grenades. Summon the cult. Once per battle, when you have to remove a cult ambush marker because your opponent has moved too close to it, if one or more models from your army with this ability are on the battlefield, you can use this ability. If you do, instead of removing that marker, you can place it anywhere on the battlefield that is 12 inches, within 12 inches of a model from your army with this ability, and more than 9 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. If it's not possible, this ability is not considered to have been used and that marker is removed as normal. Jesus fucking Christ. Basically, your opponent moves within range of an objective thing, one of your cold ambush things. You pick one of these fuckers, you can move it within 12 inches of this guy, as long as it's not within 9 inches of another guy. Okay? Okay. Acolyte hybrids. He has grenades. I think I said that. Acolyte hybrids. Toughness 4 on these boys. 1 wound. OC2. Demo charges are a thing they can take. They're only strength 9 now. D6 shots. I don't know why they were strength 12 before, but they were. These guys can also take hand flamers. You can take these units to 10, and then they have industrialized destructions. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If the target of that attack is within range of an objective marker, you can reroll the wound roll instead. So that's just full on. Just reroll. If you're within range of an objective marker, I can reroll my wound rolls with my flamers. These, which is pretty sweet indeed. And then in combat as well, they have good stuff because they have hand flamers and cult claws and knives. So strength 4 AP 1, 2 damage, not bad. Cult Icon. In your command phase, you can return up to D3 destroyed models to the bearer's unit. If the bearer's unit is within range of an objective marker you control, you can return up to 3 destroyed models to the unit instead. This ability cannot be used to return destroyed character models in attached units, and one-shot weapons equipped by returned models that were shot before they were destroyed are still considered to have been shot. 1 Acolyte hybrid hand flamer can be replaced with a Cult Icon, and then for every 5, 2 can have their hand flamer replaced with demolition charges. And then the cult leaders, cult claws, and knife can be replaced with 1 liter bioweapons, which are 5 attacks with strength 5, AP 2, and 1 damage. So pretty cool. These Acolyte hybrid boys are apparently a different unit than the others. They're 75 points or 150. So they are battle line guys, so they can be used in the 1 detachment and try to bring them back a little bit easier. So that's interesting, I guess. What the heck is this guy? Look at him. A little crazy guy. So those are your Acolyte hybrids. Awesome. They can deep strike in, they have cold ambush, they come back, they shoot you with flamers, they charge you, they kill you, you kill them, they come back, rinse and repeat. That's how that works. Acolyte hybrids with auto pistols. So these are basically the same, they have a different ability. Claimed for the cult at the start of your command phase, roll a d6 for each objective marker you control that has 1 or more units from your army with this ability in range of it. On a 4+, you gain a CP. 70 points for this unit if you wanted to take 5 dudes, so that's pretty cool. You might want to take a unit or 2 of these guys just for that ability. Combat, pretty much the same. They can take the mining tools, though. They can take the Icon, and then for every 5 models, 3 Acolyte hybrids can have their auto pistols and cult claws replaced with 1 heavy mining tool. So that's what you're going to want to do with these guys, because the heavy mining tool, it's anti-vehicle 4 up, it's only 2 attacks, but it does hit on 3s. It is strength 5, AP 2, and damage 3. Just a weird little stat line there, but that's what you got. So you can take, what, 6 of those in a 10-man unit? That's pretty good. That's 6 hits, because they have 2 attacks apiece. No, it's more than 6 hits. That's a good thing. Take those, that's good. Then we have the Neophyte hybrids. I think these are the 20-man squads, right? Yes, so 20-man squads. These have deep strike, called ambush, same with these. A plan generation's in the making. At the end of your command phase, if it's within range of an objective marker, it stays under your control. So sticky objectives on these guys. They got a bunch of different guns here. For For every 10 dudes in the unit, you can have a mining laser, a seismic cannon, or a heavy stubber. So actually 2 of them can do that, my bad there. And then for every 10 models in the unit, 2 dudes can have, you know, weapons replaced with, you know, grenade launcher, flamer, something like that. Now you do have to take 2 different things here, so like, that's just how it goes with this game nowadays. If you take 20 dudes, you can take like 2 seismic cannons and 2 mining lasers. You each can't take 4 mining lasers, so. Mining laser ain't bad though, strength 10, AP 3, D6 plus 1 damage, so it did get a little worse. It hits on 5s. The seismic cannon, that's rapid fire, strength 6, AP 1, D3 damage with heavy rapid fire 2 shots. Kind of weird as well. Nothing crazy here. And then you're gonna take probably, you know, flamers, grenade launchers, probably Webbers. They do have dev wounds, at least they used to. Yeah, so dev wound Weber thing. Pretty weird little thing. This is a shooting unit for sure, and it's just here to kind of get you some sticky objectives. And you can take the combat on this guy, the anointed power weapon or whatever the fuck, anointed pistol and power weapon. So that's gonna be that. These guys have grenades. These guys have grenades. These guys have grenades, so all your infantry do indeed have the grenades. All right, we have more, just a few more. Hybrid metamorphs are the next one. Just 1 wound, toughness 4, you know, that looks the same. Deep strike, feel no pain 5+, and a scout. Interesting. Hybrid metamorphs. Oh, and our neophyte hybrids, I forgot to mention, are 70 points or 140. The hybrid metamorphs are 80 points or 160, depending on how many you take. Their combat's pretty nice, so they all have the auto pistol and the metamorph mutation, and then the leader guy has the bioweapons. So the metamorph mutations are the one that can do the sweep or the strike. It's either 3 attacks, strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage, so heavy bolter in combat, or 5 attacks, so strength 4, AP 1, damage 1. Cold Icon, they can take that. Any number of models can have their auto pistol replaced with hand flamers. You're gonna probably do that. So Blood Surge, yeah. Each time an enemy unit is selected to shoot after that unit has shot, if any models from this unit were destroyed as a result of those attacks, this unit can make a Blood Surge move. To do so, roll 1d6. This unit can be moved a number of inches up to the result, but it must end that move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit, excluding aircraft. When doing so, those models can be moved within engagement range of that enemy unit. If at the start of the battle, every model in this unit is equipped with an auto pistol, each time this unit makes a Blood Surge move, it can be moved up to 6 inches instead of D6. A unit cannot make a Blood Surge move while it is battle shocked. Why is that restriction there about the auto pistols? Like, why do you want to take the shitty things just so that you can get the 6-inch Blood Surge move? Nah. Grenades, 80 points. Scout 6 is real nice to have. Infiltrators is better though, and you have some other infiltrators in this army. So, Abominant. Here we go. 5 wounds at T6 with a 5-up save. He's got a 5-up feel no pain, deep strike. He comes back to life on a 2+ still with its full wounds remaining. And then he's got the Chosen One. While he's leading a unit, you get to fight back on a 4+. He can only be attached to one thing, which is the Aberrants, so they also got much worse. Oh, the Abominant himself is 75 points. The Aberrants are 150, so they did come down. They were like 340 before, and now they're 300. But I still think that they're probably a little bit too expensive because this is all they got now. 3 wounds, toughness 6, 5-up feel no pain. They are -1 to be wounded if they're still led, so that's pretty nice. But they've only got strength 7, AP 2, and 2 damage with 3 attacks. How is that possible, dude? How the fuck is that possible? That is not possible. The Jackal Alphys, Scout 9, you know, leader stealth. The Jackals themselves, Scout 9 as well. Nothing special here. She's got her sniper rifle, that's 3 damage. That can't even one-shot most characters. She does have grenades. I think she's like 65 points, 60 points there. The Jackals are 90 or 180. You do get 8, or you get 10, 5 or 10. You either get 5 or 10. They do have a 5-up save, not a 4-up save, so, yeah. This mining laser is strength 12 for some reason. Hang on. We just gotta make sure we're not crazy, right? Mining laser, strength 10. Mining laser, doesn't have heavy, strength 12. I guess they're not the same mining laser. You got your incinerator here, it's a heavy flamer. You got the grenade launcher here. They're all equipped with close combat weapons and small arms, so nothing real cool here. I'm not impressed by the Adolin Jackals. So Outrider Gangs. Each time you use the Cult Ambush ability to set this unit back up on the battlefield, in addition to the normal rules, all of its models must be set up wholly within 9 inches of the battlefield edge, and at least one of its models must be touching one of your Cult Ambush markers. So fucking much restrictions. That marker is then removed from the battlefield. This unit, if this cannot be done, this cannot be set back up. Okay. Demolition Run once per turn in your movement phase. When this unit ends a normal advance or fallback move, you can select an enemy unit within 6 inches invisible to this unit. Roll a d6 for each Adolin Jackal model in this unit. For each 4+, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound to a maximum of 6. Right. They've got grenades, don't they? Okay. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. We got the Achilles Ridge Runner. Is this thing still great? Crossfire. In your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of its attacks until the end of the turn. Each time a friendly Genestealer cult model makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. Yes, it still does. So then it's got war gear abilities. War gear. It can either gain smoke for free, it can be a spotter and give its ranged weapons, 3-up save, or it can have a survey auger each time it shoots. Select one enemy unit that was hit by one or more attacks by the bearer until the end of the phase. Each time Genestealer cult makes an attack against that unit, it ignores cover. So basically, +2 AP is what this thing gives you with an indirect fire weapon. Like, yeah. You take 3 of these. Any number of dudes can have their mining laser replaced with a mortar, just do that. And any number of models can have their flare launcher replaced with one of the following, either a spotter or an auger array. So, give it the smoke auger, because then, or the survey auger, excuse me, because then it's going to give you +2 AP. It's 75 points, it's got 8 wounds, it's got a 3-up save with toughness 7. Like, these things are good. They have scout 9 inches. Like, these are good. Take them. Then you got your Goliath Rock Grinder, nothing special here. Toughness 10, 10 wounds, 12-inch move. Firing deck 6. It's got a heavy mining laser, heavy stubber, drill dozer blades, demolition charge cache. So that's assault. It does hit on 5 still. Something's fucked up on the page, although I can't even feel that, so that's just fucked up ink. The heavy mining laser is only D3 shots, but it has blast, interestingly, so that's kind of strange. Drill Dozer Blade, 8 attack, strength 10 AP, 2 damage. Okay, not bad in combat. It'd be funny if it was damage 3. You'd just be crushing Terminators and stuff. Its heavy mining laser can be something. It can transport 6 dudes. It doesn't have grenades. I'm surprised it doesn't have grenades when it's got a demolition charge. Goliath Truck. Oh, so the Goliath Rock Grinder is 120 points, I believe. The truck is like 85. It's toughness 9 with 10 wounds, and it also has a 3-up save. So yeah, they're fine. This thing's OC2, this thing's OC3. Oh, this thing has stuff. Grinding Line Breaker. Each time an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, that is within engagement range of this model falls back, all models in that unit must take a Desperate Escape test when doing so. If that enemy unit is Battle Shock, subtract 1 from the test. Yeah, and then you're -1 to hit. If you're hurt. So this thing just transports stuff, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, transports 12, has fire index 6, can't even take a mining laser, but it does have this demo charge cache. So it's just not a one-shot weapon, basically. And then fire support in your shooting phase after this model has shot. Select one enemy unit, it scored 1 or more hits against this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a friendly model that disembarked from this transport this turn makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, you can reroll the wound roll. So a pretty common thing that we see on tanks and stuff, and transports and stuff. And that does it because that, I gotta be honest, that was fucking terrible. That was pretty fucking bad. This is the best unit in the Codex, the Ridge Runner. There's some good stuff in here. There's some pretty cool stuff in here. I'm just not very excited about this. Genestealers aren't my thing. I don't like how they play. I don't like them. I think they're cool as a faction, but I don't like playing them. And this, though, this just doesn't seem like that's where it's at, right? Like, are you really coming in here and winning the game with Genestealer cults? My overall analysis, I don't really have a lot to break down here because I have to sit down and think about all the different things that are in here, which I can't just do right now after recording this because I haven't seen this before. So there's a lot in here that I've got to go over, but At a glance, this is bad. This is a bad codex, and how thematic. We get a super good codex with sisters, and we get a not so good codex with Genestealer cults. This was also tiring to get through because so many of the words are just like, oh my god. It's so wordy. There's lots of words, and I have to speak them, and it's hard. So, I don't know. What do you guys think of the codex? Do you think it's good? What do you think is the best combination in here? Is there anything crazy, like any combinations of strats with enhancements that, plus like detachments where units that can do some really crazy damage or something? I don't see anything that's standing out as being super OP here, but again, this is my first read through it, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, at a glance, this is looking pretty rough, guys. So we're gonna have to plan a rebellion against James' workshop here for sure. So I'm gonna leave you with that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video for the Genestealer Cult Codex review. If you guys liked the video, thunderhammer the like button, show me that you liked it, subscribe to our channel, tell us about it, tell us about how much you liked it in the comments, hit Nurgle's bell icon, and then check out our other videos as well. All those things are the things you gotta do. Hit up those comments, let's plan this rebellion, and I'll see you guys in the next one.